Okay, it's Eric Clark again for a new video. Here I am again on Pokemon because I've yet to enter the world of rating because I like to rate my Pokemon. But see, that's a challenge for me because I've never seen a Pokemon that I didn't like or seen greater or lesser. Because to me, even the best Pokemon or even the worst Pokemon has a purpose. There's a purpose for me. Believe it or not, I do not share opinions like this for Falfaming because I do respect him on the Pokemon. I do not believe him rejecting Pokemon for the lesser model, or they do serve their purpose. I like to collect lesser Pokemon because there's a reason for it. Though you believe the idea, yes, the idea of Pokemon was to catch them all, but that was never the idea for me. Okay, people assume that I was a fool because what? I wanted a Pokemon that was different. So here's my strategy to you. Why Gen 1 could become very more interesting if you're just starting into the Pokemon world. I am not new to gaming, but I'm new to a lot of things in the gaming world because it's starting to evolve. And that's where Pokemon is the perfect idea for this, because they evolved. But there were some moments that were very strange to me because, remember, Magikarp, perceived as the weakest Pokemon in the first Gen 1 series. And there was other ones that seemed weaker because think about what he became at the end of his Leonard. He was the idea of fear. He was the weakest of the bunch. Nobody wanted a Magikarp. Nobody thought of that concept. Yet they wanted a Gyarados because they thought, what would be the weirdest thing? They always wanted a dragon Pokemon since there was never really a perceived dragon type, which we would always assume that would be Dragon Knight, which was a prize in anyone's book. If you got a Dragonite, there was no more rewarding thing. Let's face it. People want to brag that they had a dragon Pokemon, but how many people who have had it in their team thought about that wrestler? You caught something that was so rare. Think of the rarest Pokemon you've ever owned. But think of the ones because of the games unadapted on Gen 1, which really makes me angry. Remember the time you went into the Lavender Town, which really made me angry in a sense because Lavender Town was probably the most weirdest towns that really start the idea of fear. Lavender Town put in the idea of ghost Pokemon, which is my favorite type of Pokemon to an extent. Besides that, the fact the only thing that was weakness perceived to be psychic, because why? They're somehow almost the opposites, but yet somehow one was better than the other. But see, here's where my strategy gets even better. Do you understand? Deciding that cat. Okay, I'm starting to get ahead of myself because it's been a long night. I spend the night trying to make these videos for people who are lesser, not so educated people of the Pokemon and gaming world, because gamers need more of a guide where we get the Falfaming. I love his ethics, but he's really kind of like pushing the envelope there, where I see him kind of the guy that would push you into the series of I love his game's choices, but they're not all mine because, let's face it, we all share our own. Here's where my list becomes different. I love games based on kind of like where you can develop your character in the game. Now, that's the weirdest thing because they've yet to put, what would be the weirdest thing I've never seen in Pokemon, where they only had it where recently I've seen games where you can alter the trainer's personnel. Here's a weird theory I have yet to explore. Do you remember, and I'm not saying join gangs, I'm not showing that light, but there was something about Team Rocket that people really started to underestimate them. Because why? They were the weakest group of the genre. They really underestimated Team Rocket for very many reasons. Because why? They were so easy and so common of an enemy. They've almost forgotten about why Pokemon was the real reasons we fought for them. Was love, right? That wasn't my agenda for Pokemon. It was strength and conquering something new. I'm always the person to strive for the new and be out of your own norm. I am suggesting people who are the more legendary people in Pokemon world to kind of go to the newer fans. Kind of reach out to them. We have yet to see, it was kind of sad that we had to say the Pokemon series starts with the Pokemon Go series. Don't get me wrong, I'm very aware of the Pokemon series, what it was intended for. It was to get the Pokemon fans to exercise. But think about that concept. To get the Pokemon fans to exercise, all you had to do was get somebody who would be a Wii Fit trainer and put them into the idea of Pokemon. Get someone who was generally already fit in the game, which would be someone I presume to be like Misty, because think about it, she was always a swimming-like character. Ash always seemed to be a fit person. Maybe because we were never able to put down the game, that was the idea. Here's a new tip that is really beyond me. I've never been able to put down the game because I love playing them. That's why I'm pretty not the most guy in shape. Though I may not perceive it, I do believe I'm very healthy because I'm still learning about my health. I'm too new to the health industry. I mean, what it is, I have mental health problems. Physical health, I'm really slow on that because I do have an overweight issue, which has always been my factor. Because think about it, if I was in the Pokemon world, I'd always perceive that I would never make it in anything. So there was my thing. I'm for the gamers who were forgotten, also the ones who were somehow immediately excluded from the groups and stuff. So Team Rocket is always that one that seemed like an outcast to everybody. They were never perceived in the light because somehow they were the opposites of everything. They were the first, but somehow the weakest of all the genres, because look how Team Rocket effortlessly tried to win and never did. But think about this. What if that effort was turned into a act for good? I mean, think of how hard effort Team Rockets would have been. They worked for money. Well, where is wrong in that? What if that became almost a part of the idea of Pokemon? Making the trainer wanted to be ethics and money? Well, we'd always thought about it. Team Rocket would be the optimum idea for exercise. Because think about it. Think how they exercise their rights and freedom will. They decided to be different for the first time. People always assumed you had to be a good trainer, or goodwill, or good-spirited. I always perceived to be the more off-base, more unsound wrestler because, wrestling, because I perceive wrestling as everything. Because somehow I related to all my stories. Whereas, finally unique, they decided to put a Pokemon that would really fit my character. Since there's very minimum fighting Pokemon in the first series that I can literally select from, I have to go on the second, which is my first step into the Johto series. The fighting Pokemon there is a little bit more variety, but I have yet to find a fighting Pokemon besides the first of Machamp. It was kind of a struggle for the Evolve evolution because I'm a little slow in those departments, evolutions. When it came to where I could almost do it effortlessly myself, but when it came to the trading factor, that was the hardest thing. I had minimum friends who liked to trade, and I always had the money issue, and I always had the issue of not having the equipment, where I'm always saying be prepared. Because there'd be that moment where you didn't have your link cable. What if they never invented the idea of 2 players? What if that is forgotten in the new era? The 2-player role. I will end this video on that note, because saying we need the second player as much as we need the third player, which is vaguely forgotten nowadays. Remember how they already started out in the Nintendo 64 with the 4 controllers? There's a concept that's been forgotten for a long time. They just decided it had to be a wireless controller because why? The old school gamers are really starting to be forgotten for what they really were worth. I want the old schoolers to kind of like come back and show people what gaming is really all about. I want those old school cats that are still in the shadows, kind of afraid to come to the shelter, to just shine out. I'm requesting old school gamers because they probably know me better than anyone. I've seen some cats that really don't like the spotlight because they really are good, and I'm waiting for them to kind of shine back into the light. Thank you.